What's going on, guys? Beautiful day out here in Southern California, and I am having a ball. I'm feeling really good lately. And I wanted to talk to you guys about three different things that I see people holding people back that they're not thinking about. Three different things that are holding you back from gaining strength and from building muscle. Now, we live in the age of the internet. So people throw things at you like crazy, right? You know, you see videos on things like periodization, and you see videos on things like accommodating resistance, and you see videos on things like, you know, particular exercises that you can do to improve your strength, things like that, right? But the problem is, and I'm not saying that any of this stuff doesn't work. I think that periodization is important in any program. I think that once you're advanced enough, you can start looking at accommodating resistance, you know, and you can start looking at some of those more advanced concepts. But the problem is that most of you have never gotten to the point where any of this stuff's going to help you, all right? Most of you stay in the beginner portion, right? And you never leave the beginner phase of strength because of a few different things, right? The number one problem I see with people and when they're trying to get strong is that they focus on weight rather than form, right? Now, I know even a lot of my friends here on YouTube, they don't like talking about form. They don't think that form is important, but it is, right? If you're a person like me, who is of very average genetics. In fact, I'm probably below average genetics because I have something called ulcerative colitis, but that's besides the point. You know, someone like me who is very average athletic genetics, you need to watch your form. If you're over the age of 30 and you are trying to get stronger, you need to watch your form. If you're a young person who is still developing, whose body is still developing all the way up into their mid-20s, you really need to watch your form, right? This is what's going to help you to, one, focus on the muscles that you want to focus on. Two, to ensure that you're not gonna get more muscle imbalances than you need to get, because just by the very act of living, you are going to get some muscle imbalances, right? Because we all use certain muscles more than others and things like that, so they're unavoidable. But creating more imbalances than need be that can cause injury, you are going to need to watch your form to avoid those, right? And so for those of you who are just beginning, right? I know you want to lift the big weights, you want to stack those plates on that barbell, but watch your form, right? Perfect your main lifts more than anything, right? Look at this as a craft. Look at this as an art, right? I'm currently learning jiu-jitsu right now. I'm a white belt, and the first 6 months that I was doing this, I was getting my ass kicked every single day. But what I would do is, once somebody choked me out, I would ask them how they did it. What mistake did I make that led them to, you know, put a Kimura on me, or that led them to put a rear naked choke on me, or that led them to get me into a particular lock or a hold that caused me to tap, right? That's because I'm a beginner. I have to be humble. I have to ask people, right? So what you really need to do here is you need to study. You need to admit that you're not the strongest person who ever lived, and you need to fill in those holes in your strength by practicing good form and by doing exercises that are going to challenge your posture. You know, a lot of people focus on the back squat, but the front squat for athletes, that really challenges your posture. That really challenges you to keep your spine straight. And to be honest with you, the way I learned to do a really good back squat was from front squatting, right? So these are things that I've included in my regimen consistently that have helped me out a lot. The next thing, and this relates to having good form, is having good mobility. Now, a lot of people confuse mobility with flexibility, right? Flexibility is passively being able to put yourself into a position. So, this is important for martial arts like jiu-jitsu because, especially when you're starting out, your body's going to be forced into certain positions. But mobility is something different. Mobility is actually very important to strength, whereas I think in some ways flexibility can hurt your strength. Mobility is so important because it's literally the act of being able to take your joints through a full range of motion. And this is what a lot of people don't understand. In order to put your joints into a full range of motion, that requires strength, right? And mobility is a really important aspect of strength. So that means not doing things that are going to increase your muscle imbalances, but two, actively working on fixing those muscle imbalances that are impeding your joint mobility. Now, I've said it over and over again, I am not an expert on mobility, but Mr. Kelly Starrett is, and he is an amazing resource. If you can, get his book, Becoming the Supple Leopard, or check out his YouTube channel, Mobility Wad. Absolutely amazing stuff there every day. You can actually look at it, both resources, as like an encyclopedia. And if you're not able to move a particular joint the way you'd like to, if you're noticing that you're not getting good glute activation or something like that, you can actually go into those books, you can go onto his channel, and you can probably find a solution that's going to help you there, right? So you need to be humble enough, again, to seek help to be able to help you to become stronger. The third thing follows from these other two, but it follows in an indirect manner, and this is lack of consistency, right? And what we see is people who, they'll go into the gym and one, they'll either try to lift lots and lots of weight and they'll get injured, or two, they'll try to lift the wrong way and they'll see that they're not progressing. And they're not progressing, so they stop training. Or maybe they've never even gotten to the point to getting into the gym and they're trying to get in there, every once in a while, but they're not staying consistent, right? Consistency is the key. I got news for you, right? Regardless of what most people say here on YouTube, regardless of the strength program you're on, most strength programs work. Most programs are going to make you stronger in some way if you follow them consistently, right? But if you continuously allow yourself to fall off because of injuries, because of lack of motivation, or simply because you're allowing other aspects of your life to really impede you from doing what you want to do, then you're going to get yourself into trouble as far as your strength gains go. You're going to fall off and you're never going to get stronger. And like I said, these are things that I think keeps people in the beginner phase for longer than they need to be, all right? And the bottom line is, guys, this stuff takes time. It takes time to master the lifts. It takes time to develop good mobility. It takes time to develop consistency, and it takes time to develop strength, right? And the more time you put into it, the more consistent work you put into it, the better you're going to get at it. Just like anything else that you've ever done with your life that's worth doing. Now, I said something about people, allowing other aspects of their lives to impede them. Well, always consider your priorities, right? And one of my priorities is living a long and happy life. And it's not just having good abs, it's not just having good biceps. The reason why I choose to train is because I want to be prepared for what life throws at me. I want to be able to lift my grandkids over my head when I'm 75, 80 years old. And I want to be active for the rest of my life and healthy for the rest of my life. So those are the things that keep me going. I really want you to think about what keeps you going. So until next time, I hope this helps. You're always welcome to send me any questions you have. And if you do want to send me questions, hit me up at info@warriorsoulapparel.com, or you can check out some of the fitness knowledge courses that I've created. I'll put at the link below. Talk to you guys soon. Love you all. Peace.